Okay, I told you I would be right back. I'm back. If you're following along, we are in Goldilocks by Ruth Sanderson. This is a follow along, color along if you've got the book. We're working with our blues and a purple for shading. This is like part 6 or something. Anyway, it should be in the title. We've been working on these blues and using purple to shade. If you're just joining us, you need to go back and catch the last video so that you don't feel so left out. So I am using we had a light, medium, and shading. All right. So let's come in here and what do I want to go over? I think I'm actually going to do this section right here. Now again, I don't care if those dots show up, but I want to get some good shading going on. So I am going to go in the squares, and I'm not going to get real dark yet. I am keeping a lighter touch than I did on the other two bowls. My reason for this is that as we go around, we need to be able to get darker. So if I put all the dark on this first bowl square, I have nowhere else to go. It's already too dark, and the darker is not going to show up. Okay? I'm going to go here, and then I am going to go here. Now I'm going to go to my next shade, and I'm going to start here and go back towards the middle. Start here and go back towards the middle. If you're a little sloppy on these squares, don't worry about it. We're going to fix that. We're going to fix it up later. Promise. Then go ahead and go over this, but make sure you leave some tooth in that paper so that you can put the purple in there yet too. All right. So there's that. Then I'm coming in with that purple, and that's what's going to make that look like it's rounded back further. Now, this side did fine. That looks like a darker shade of blue. This side almost looks purple to me. So I'm going to come back in with my blue and go over the top again just to knock it back a little bit. And then I'll bring the blue in. Okay. Sometimes you have to come back with that original color, and then I'm going to see how it looks rounded now because we're lighter in the middle. But I do want a little more coverage here, so I'm going to go over it again. But if I keep a light touch, I can cover some more of that white that's in the paper without getting dark. Does that make sense? If I bear down hard on the pencil, it's going to be dark, but I can keep that light touch and it's okay. All right, we're going to lay these 3 colors down with what we used on the yellow tops earlier, the yellow ochre colors, and we're going to pick up these oranges now. Now, because it was on the color wheel that these went together, they should look fine by the time we're finished here. So I have pulled, again in the Raffines, 507, 506, I don't look at my hands and my nails. I do crafts all the time, so they're always a mess. And 557. Okay? So my light, medium, and my shadow. Keep them in that order. I'm not going to be telling you the colors, so if you need to write that down, pause and write it down. I'm going to start with my light. Why not? Mix it up a bit. Okay, I'm going to do this bowl. That light is in the middle. And this is my last color to use, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in both of these places. And back here, because that rim goes all the way around. Now you could have done your bowls a different color on the inside. I like to keep the same color that's on the outside. Now I'm going to show you, sometimes I get coloring and I'll do several pieces at once. That's what I'm fixing to do. Fixing, yeah. Texas. 507 still. I'm going to do all my lights. This is kind of like when we did some of the legs on the chairs and the table and stuff. We went through and did several areas at once. That's what I'm doing. Doing all my lights here. I know there's a dark stripe there. We're going to take care of that when we take care of the lines here. All right. I'll just tell you now, when you get to that point, or when we get there, you are going to need a dark Sharpie or Micron pen. You might be able to use a gel pen, but be careful because we don't want to leave it streaky. Okay, so this was that medium coming in. Oops, don't forget this top layer up here. I almost did. Put a little bit right there next to the spoon, just as if there's a little shadow from the spoon. Then in the front, getting lighter as I go into that light area. So you can do a heavier touch on the outside, but it needs to be lighter as you go in. Okay, now I'm going to go to my darker, and remember this was a brown. So if this is too dark, we'll go over it again with the yellow. But if you'll sneak up on it, see there, that was okay. Don't go too dark all at once, sneak up on it, do a little bit at a time. See how that looks like it's recessed on the sides? That's what we're after. Same thing here on this little bowl. Recessed around here. More so in the back. Get that line in there. If you can get that line in, do. Doesn't look as good on that side as it does on this side, but that's all right. It's liable to disappear anyway when I get my color in. See? We want it rounded looking. And it will look better further away. Remember, you're up closer than I'm even at right now. All right. I do see that I need to come back right here and just get that spot. There we go. We're not going to work on the rest of the bowls yet. We're going to put that aside. Actually, we're almost finished with this. I'm going to leave my tablecloth white. I just want to. I'm going to reach over here and just pick up some browns, and we'll see if they go together. 563 and 556. Okay. This one looks lighter, but I don't trust the leads ever, and I do have scratch paper here, so we're just going to try them. This one is the darker, so it's going to go on the left-hand side of my hand. And put the lighter on the right side. I think I used to do that opposite, but you know, things change. All right, let's take a look at this wood. I'm gonna grab the, let's grab this one. Okay, I grabbed 563. I am gonna put in some darks. Remember, we said if we got too dark, we would cover up all this little vine stuff. We don't want to cover all that up, so be careful on the colors you pick. And the colors I picked might be too dark. We're going to find out shortly. Putting in just a little bit of veinage. Veinage, you know what I mean, wood grain. See, now I went up there, so I'll skip to up here, down here. You don't want to line these up in straight lines. Have them have little breaks in them. And you didn't see that because I was off camera. I'll do it over here. So when you put your veins in, and you can kind of see these, if I do one there, I don't want to do another one right here exactly like it. I'll start down here and come up. If I do one here, then the next one's going to come from up here, stop, and then I can make it go again. Don't have them be perfectly parallel, lined up like soldiers. Have them staggered like bricks. But then again, don't make them exact bricks. You know what I'm saying? You've got to just break it up a bit. And I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to keep this going up and down, or if I just need to zoom out and hope that you've got me on Chromecast on your TV and able to see that way. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, wrong way. I can go in a little bit. There, I think I can get the window in now. There we go. Okay, so you're going to go through and do that on the windowsill. And this is really almost all dark, so I'm just going to shade that in. It's not showing over here because the chair and the bowl. So let's go ahead and finish this side. I'm going to take that other brown I picked, and I'm going to lightly go through here. Now some of the stems are getting covered, but not too badly. And we will fix that when we work on that bowl with the micron or your Sharpie or whatever really fine-tipped marker or pen you have. Okay, we'll fix it then. You're also going to need something to put behind your page in case that marker or whatever leaks through to the back. Okay, see this barrel over here? Let's go ahead and get that real quick too while we're over here. So the darker lines, the darker shading, getting lighter as I come around. Darker shading, getting lighter as I come around. I know I lost the line. Just put it back in. No big deal. I'm going to put a couple lines in here for grins. Yeah, just for grins. Lighter shade, overlap that darker. Lighter shade, overlap the darker. Sometimes people ask how I can get so close here and not go over. It's just from practice. I've been coloring for a couple years now, and it just comes with practice. Okay, now because I don't want to forget that piece of metal that's wrapped around there, I have my grays still laying out. I don't know if you do or not, but I'm going to put a light gray right there, my lightest gray, then my medium gray. It's going to sneak up on that a little bit, and then my darker gray. And if you need to get your grays back out because you clean up after yourself, you just go right ahead. Yeah, no problem. Okay, there's that. Then I've also lost the dark line there. Okay, barrel's done. That was easy. All right, let's keep going across. Let's do the other side of the window. Gonna put in those dark lines. Try not to go right through any leaves, but if you do, it's not going to show. I mean, people aren't going to look at your picture and go, oh, you went right through that leaf. Oh my gosh, how could you? It happens. And in fact, right there, that should be some more of that blue. I missed it. So that blue is laying right here. I'm going to get that colored in real quick. Yeah, it's another reason to go ahead and leave your pencils out. There. Whoops. Yeah, everything fell over. This right here, do you see that little bit of a edge? That looks like maybe another pot. So she's got one here, here, here. So I'm going to wait a little bit, and when we color this pot in, we'll do that one too. All right. So back to my darker, and just start putting my wood grain in. Just a little bit here and there. Again, as long as they're not carbon copies of each other. Just trying to add a little bit of interest to the picture. Okay? This one, I'm trying to compare this side to this side. It seems to me that this should have a little bit of dark down here because of that plant overlaying. You see what I'm saying? It's casting a bit of a shadow. So I just laid my pencil on edge and I'm just scooching. It's a word. It is now. It's my word. I'm just putting in a little bit of color, a little bit of darker. And then if I lost my veins, I can stand that pencil up on the tip and just put some back in. All right. To me, that looks a little bit more natural. And then down here, I'm going to do a little bit at the bottom just from the plant. But then I'm not going to worry about the rest of it. I'm going to take my lighter shade and I'm going to start just coloring all this in. And if you did this blue as part of the curtains right here, don't worry about it. It very well could be, Sometimes there's not a rhyme or reason on how we color. If it's green, it's going to look like a leaf. I mean, we saw that from this. These are just little pointed little objects, but yet because they're green, they do look like little leaves. Nothing wrong with that. Now, I am going to come over here. This is part of the casing of the window. I'm going to leave it white. This is the seat. I'm going to leave it white. Over here, I'm going to assume it's the way we're looking at it, that we can't see the casing, that it's tucked back up in there, and that it's that brown line that we see. Okay, does that make sense? All right, now I am going to turn this. Don't get dizzy. There, I can go about that far and still be okay. I am going to do the bottom casing here, just like we did over here. And doesn't that look different? The casing is here. It's wide, but over here we don't see. Let me do something. If I lay this pencil down, yeah, see it's here, and then over here it's up here. Now only I would notice that. Anyway, just go ahead and color this piece in after you put your wood grain in. I'm putting my wood grain in first as I outline. I'll do it a little darker here because of the chair. Okay. Add a little darkness there and a little darkness there, just to add interest. And then I'm going to do that in a light brown just because. And it, like I said, she's done the boards different because the window seat here is way up here, but over here it's down here. I don't know. I think when you look at it as a whole, nobody's really going to notice that except me and you, because we're the ones coloring it right now. But again, it's still beautiful artwork. I still love her stuff. Okay, what else do we need to do? We need to do the pots. You know what? That purple we had out earlier, let's just do this pot. It's a nondescript flower pot. So I'm just going to do it purple. Use whatever color you want. That's just what I saw laying on the table, and it works for me. So use what color you want. Are we actually fixing to have this piece finished? Oh my goodness. Let's see, what else do I have laying over here? This red. I'm going to put a red pot right here for this little beauty. Go around those leaves. It's really dark, but this red should cover it. She had that already grayscaled completely dark. Some little flowers, yes. What do you think if we put little pink buds in? Pick whatever you want. Right now, I am grabbing stuff off my table. What red did I have? I already laid it back down. I think it was 511. I wouldn't swear to that. This one is 517. Sorry, I got anxious when I knew we were almost done. I love being almost finished with something. Okay, ooh, yeah, the porridge, and do you see that there's a design on the inside of that bowl? I totally missed that. Let's see. Here's a nice green. I know I normally wouldn't do something different like this, but it is a pretty little design in there. So just put your leaves in, put a stem in there, and then I'm going to leave the rest of that. And then porridge, let's see. Oh, these two. I think these were my skin colors. 519 and 520. 519 is the lightest. Lightest is on top. And if it's not dark enough, we can always deepen it. But I think porridge is probably like a creamy white, isn't it? Something like that. So do the top areas, and there's no way we're going to cover that gray, so don't even worry about it. And this, just, I'm going to say it, scoochy some of that color in. Now I switch to my darker. Be careful going across here that you don't pick up that blue. Okay. I just went ahead and went over that whole thing. And here I'm going to stick to the sides and the bottom. And that porridge isn't showing up, so I'm going to go ahead and go on up. All right, just gives a little color. Oh, that's right. Thank you. On her spoon. See, I heard you yelling that at me. You said there's more, there's more. Okay, I am going to push pause if I can do it without cutting you off. And I'm going to go get my black marker right after I do all these leaves. Yeah, I just found these. Just grab a green. I just happened to grab that green I was using, I think, 548. And I'm getting these leaves in. We're not going to worry about putting 2 or 3 colors on these leaves. Yeah, if you want to do that, make sure you have a good point and you go for it. Huh, I'm not. I get tired of things easily, so the fact that I finish a page is kind of amazing. Told my husband once, be glad I haven't gotten tired of him. No, I would never get tired of him. I love my husband. We have a really good marriage. All right, the walls, do we want to leave them white or color them? I'm thinking leave them. I don't know what bear would paint their walls. Of course, I don't know what bears would sit at the table and eat with spoons either. All right, hang on. Grab your black Micron or Sharpie or something with a really good tip on it and a piece of paper or plastic to put behind your page. And we will be right back if I don't cut you off on accident.